very good evening. Welcome to Prime TV News on Friday, the 2nd of November, with me, Iftia Abdul Qadir. A look at your headlines first. President launches the Jala Nimna Harita Arana tree planting program. The JVP refutes social website propaganda. Prime Minister's office announces there is no officer by the name of Sagala Ratnayaka. And on news overseas, Saudi prince claims that journalist Khashoggi was a dangerous Islamist. In your local news this evening, the Jala Nimna Harita Arana tree planting program implemented under the guidance of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau in parallel to the Vanaropa National Tree Planting Program commenced today under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The tree planting program was launched at the historic Somavatiya Sacred Area. The main objective of the Jala Nimna Harita Arana program is to restore these structural measures that help to prevent the erosion of river banks. President Sirisena planted a Karanda sapling in the premises of the Somavatiya Sacred Area and launched this program officially. Meanwhile, the president also opened the newly built three-storied Pilgrim's Rest at the Somavatiya Sacred Area to provide accommodation facilities to the Mahasangha and devotees who come to worship the Somavati Raja Mahavihara. Chief incumbent of Somavati Raja Mahavihara, the Venerable Pahamune Sri Sumangala Nayakatera, and parliamentarian Siripala Gamlat were among those present on the occasion. The government yesterday decided to reduce prices of several essential commodities as well as the price of fuel with immediate effect. These price reductions have been effected according to a statement made by President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, assuring to grant relief to the people who are hindered. The price of a litre of octane 92 petrol has been reduced up to 145 rupees. It was earlier sold at 155 rupees. A litre of auto diesel, which was sold at 123 rupees, has been reduced by 7 rupees. The price of lubricants, including the 2T lubricants used in three-wheelers and small agricultural engines, will be reduced by 10 rupees per litre. The government also decided to reduce the special commodity levy imposed on several goods. Accordingly, the special commodity levy on dal was reduced by 5 rupees per kilogram, chickpeas by 5 rupees per kilogram, and black gram by 25 rupees per kilogram. Customs duty will also be waived on wheat grain to 9 rupees per kilogram from the existing waiver of 6 rupees per kilogram. Sugar is brought under the special commodity levy, whereby the applicable taxes on sugar will also be reduced by 10 rupees per kilogram. A guaranteed price scheme is to be introduced for paddy, onion and potatoes produced locally by farmers. To mitigate the impact of adverse weather conditions, which resulted in farmers losing their livelihood and becoming heavily indebted, interest and the penal interest incurred by farmers and small paddy mill owners on loans up to a maximum of 50 million rupees from all commercial banks during the past 3 years will be written off in full and will be borne by the government. Meanwhile, the maximum threshold on loan advances given by Samurdhi banks to Samurdhi beneficiaries to support their livelihood activities will be increased by 10,000 rupees. Fertilizer prices for paddy will be maintained at 500 rupees per 50 kilogram bag, and fertilizer prices for other crops will be reduced to 1,000 rupees per 50 kilogram bag from 1,500 rupees per 50 kilogram bag. The concessionary income tax rate of 14% on agriculture is presently applied only for the companies engaged in agricultural businesses. The income of individuals from agricultural undertakings will also be reduced from the existing maximum rate of 24% to 14% so that individual farming agriculture is also encouraged. The concessionary income tax rate of 14% is presently applicable under the SME categories only for company. This rate will be extended to include individuals, including those providing professional services. Therefore, the income tax rate for professional services will be reduced from 24% to 14%. Withholding tax will be exempted on interest on any savings and fixed deposits maintained in any financial institution. To encourage local entrepreneurs, professionals and migrant workers to remit their earnings in foreign currency on services provided outside Sri Lanka, income tax will be exempted on such remittances. The adverse impact created by high indirect taxes will be mitigated by simplification of VAT and NBT. The VAT threshold will be increased from 12 million rupees per annum to 24 million per annum. The threshold for the VAT liability of wholesale and retail sector also will be increased from 50 million to 100 million rupees per 12 months, providing benefits to small traders and businesses. The VAT rate applicable on the import of sawn timber will be reduced to 5% to support the local construction industry. VAT on import of fabric will be exempt, providing benefits to the small and medium garment manufacturers. Considering the high tax imposed on the telecommunication services, the telecommunication levy of 25% will be reduced to 15%. The thrust if these initiatives are to be encourage production and simplify the tax system. It will certainly help households with additional income in their hands. The proposed changes to the tax system will also encourage inward remittances and savings. On to a headline-making story. Prime Minister's media secretary Rohan Valivita has said that they reject the announcement issued by parliamentarian Sagala Ratnayaka using the letterhead of the Prime Minister's office. He has mentioned this issuing a statement. As the head of state, President Maithripala Sirisena appointed Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister of the country. The President also appointed a secretary to the Prime Minister. Under such circumstances, there is no validity on the statement issued by parliamentarian Sagala Ratnayaka using a letterhead of the Prime Minister's office. Mr. Valivita said that it contains false information. A statement issued by Rohan Valivita pointed out that it is totally illegal for Sagala Ratnayaka to appear introducing himself as the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff using a letterhead of the Prime Minister's office. The announcement further stated that there is no employee by the name of Sagala Ratnayaka serving in the Prime Minister's office. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa visited Temple Trees yesterday to personally look into the security of former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. It is reported that Gotabaya Rajapaksa visited Temple Trees yesterday and had discussions with Ranil Wickremesinghe. Following the defeat of Mahinda Rajapaksa at the presidential elections held on January 8, 2015, the then Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe took action to arrange him to leave Temple Trees securely. In a similar manner, it is reported that former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who went to Temple Trees yesterday, drew his attention to the security of the former Prime Minister. Discussions had also centred on the initiatives that should be taken to the measures that should be in place on the security of the former Prime Minister in the future. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa had taken steps to apprise President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa as well as the security sector to take necessary action on the security of the former Prime Minister. They also discussed to prevent any hindrance being caused to the former Prime Minister, ministers of the previous government or any United National Party supporter as a result of this political change. You're watching Prime TV News and still on the local scene. The Janata Vimuktu Peramuna has emphasized that it has yet not taken a decision to extend support to any party. Parliamentarian Vijitha Herat said that publicity given by certain social websites are totally false. Parliamentarian Vijitha Herat said that a misleading report has been published in the Lankadeepa website that the Janata Vimukti Peramuna will be supporting Ranil Wickremesinghe. He emphasized that the Janata Vimukti Peramuna had not mentioned it at any time or any place and that such a thing would happen. He claimed that the JVP is a party that used its vote against Ranil Wickremesinghe in the no-confidence motion. What they wish to say is that what has happened at present is unconstitutional and they were forcing the president to immediately convene parliament to sort out this issue. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa visited Kataragama and engaged in religious observances after receiving blessings of the Mahasangha. The Prime Minister met the Chief Sanganayaka of the Ruhuna Magampattua and Chief Incumbent of the Kirivehera Vihara, the Venerable Kobavaka Damminda Thera, and received his blessings. Thereafter, he joined in religious observances held near the Kirivehera. The Prime Minister also participated in the puja at the Mahasen Devala. After paying obeisance to the Ashtapala Bodhi near the Kataragama Mahadevala, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa joined in religious observances at the Gana Devala in Kataragama. Thereafter, the Prime Minister arrived at the Abhinavarama Vihara in Kataragama. Mahinda Rajapaksa called on the Ruhuna Magampattuwe Chief Adhikarana Sanganayaka, the Venerable Kapugama Saranatissa Thera, and received his blessings. He also attended religious observances there. The Prime Minister participated in the Tevava and in the puja. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe has said that they expect to grant more relief to the people through the vote on account scheduled to be presented in Parliament. The minister made this reference addressing a news conference at the Sri Lanka Freedom Party head office today. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe, addressing the media, pointed out that more relief will be announced when the vote on account is presented. Already, the Prime Minister has met the Indian and British High Commissioners. More ambassadors are also due to be met next week. The government also hopes to meet the UN resident representative at the office and also later visit the financial institutions. There is no opportunity to create a chaotic situation in the country. Necessary steps have been taken for the supply of fertilizer required for paddy cultivation and other cultivations during the Maha season without any shortage. It has been decided to provide types of required fertilizer sans any shortage on the instructions of Minister Mahinda Amaravira. The minister issued these instructions to his officials during a discussion held at the Agricultural Ministry. Accordingly, as announced by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, a 50-kilogram bag of urea fertilizer will be sold at 500 rupees, while fertilizer given for other crops will be sold at the rate of 1,000 rupees per 50-kilogram bag. As grains such as maize and black gram are being cultivated this season on hundreds of more acres, the minister has advised his officials to take appropriate action in this respect. Workers in hospitals countrywide staged a massive protest demanding that former Minister Rajitha Senaratne should not be absorbed into the government. Even the Government Medical Officers Association, directing a missive to President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, requested that Rajitha Senaratne should not at all be taken into the government. A statement issued by the Government Medical Officers Association said the people are protesting following the destructive impact caused by Rajitha Senaratne to the health sector and in general to the stability of the networks existing in the country during the past 3-year period. The statement further said that it is important to identify the local and foreign forces that are behind the activities of the former Health Minister Rajitha Senaratne for the advancement of the nation. A memorandum signed by all the doctors island-wide expressing their protest to Rajitha Senaratne is ready to be handed over to the President. customs officials have succeeded in foiling an attempt to smuggle out of the country a large haul of foreign currency. The foreign currency was recovered from the possession of an Indian national who arrived at the airport to leave for Singapore. Customs media spokesman Sunil Jayaratne announced that the value of the foreign currency was more than 20 million rupees. The customs media spokesman said that an Indian national has been detained at the Bandaranaike International Airport for attempting to smuggle out a stock of foreign currency. The suspect, who had arrived in the country from Tamil Nadu, was preparing to leave for Singapore this morning at 1 a.m. when the customs officers attached to the BIA apprehended him. The customs officers accordingly have seized foreign currency including 19,250 sterling pounds, 95,000 euros, 71,500 Saudi riyals and 21,000 Arab Emirates dirham, estimated to be worth over 27 million rupees. For more information, visit www.itnews.lk. Many thanks for joining us. Good night.